This is Attorney Drew Page, and in this video, we are going to break down Season 2, Episode 5 of Undercover Billionaire featuring Elaine Culotti. Let's go.
They're going undercover in cities they've never been to with only $100, a cell phone with no contacts, and an old truck. All they'll have are the business principles they use to become successful. At the end of 90 days, all three businesses will be independently evaluated.
If it's a penny short of $1 million, I'll put in $1 million.
You know the drill. Each of these investors has 90 days to turn $100 into $1 million business with nothing but a contactless cell phone and an old pickup truck. If you haven't gotten caught up on all of the Undercover Billionaire episodes, you can click on the Undercover Billionaire link in the description below to get caught up on all of the Undercover Billionaire analysis. Please subscribe to this channel and like this video so it'll help with the algorithm to get the content out to others who may be looking for content like this. Also, if you really want to help me out, you can get a copy of my book, The Right Defense for a Traffic Offense in Virginia, by clicking on the Amazon link below. Elaine is on fire. She has just been killing this thing. She started off with jobs and work and all that, but now she has honed in on a business. She found an investor. She found someone to team up with who already had an asset, the Shepherd's Inn, and now she's trying to transform it into a COVID-proof business. So let's see where she gets started in this episode.
My goal is to just make it look as clean and as big as possible. I mean, it is a grocery store and a bar, and clean and as big as possible is white. I want to walk in the door and see the exact opposite of what you see here, right?
Okay.
Yeah. Normally what I do when I'm bidding a job is I have 3 people bid it, and then I pick the best person for the job. I don't have that option. I don't have the luxury. I don't have time, and I don't have money. And the guy that we were going to hire referred us to Matt. So hopefully he'll be able to do it.
So Elaine is trying to pitch to Anne the Shepherd's Inn concept so that she can get her to be an investor. She's met with this guy named Matt who's supposed to come in and paint the building and essentially freshen it up. And she says normally she would like to have multiple bids to be able to make a decision, but she's kind of under a time constraint. But as you'll see, sometimes it's better to delay some things because ultimately if you don't put in the investigative work at the front end, you're going to end up delaying it anyway. If a person doesn't know how to do the job, they're not competent, they're lazy, or they don't do what they say they would do, and you could have found all of this out by investigating it, then you're going to end up wasting time anyway, and I have a feeling that she may end up regretting this. But no one can fault her for trying to speed things up because she is on a timeline, so we'll see how it works out.
Most businesses, if they're good, have a lot of different tranches or a lot of different buckets. Because if you rely on one thing and one thing only, when something goes wrong, okay, it's gone.
Elaine lays out a pretty important business principle here. When you have a business, you need to make sure that you have multiple streams of income. She uses the word tranches. That's kind of like her word of the show is tranches. Every time I hear the word tranche, I think of The Big Short.
This is your basic mortgage bond. All right? The originals were simple. They were just thousands of AAA mortgages bundled together, guaranteed by the U.S. government. The modern ones are different. They're private, and they're made up of layers of tranches.
I'm used to hearing it as multiple streams of income. She also says buckets. It doesn't really matter what you call it. The bottom line is you need to have money coming in from multiple different ways. So for example, I have my law firm. I have a title insurance company. I have my book that I've written. So there's different streams coming in just from the law practice. I also have a business that has rental real estate and several other buckets of things where money comes in, and making sure that if something were to fall apart, that I've still got some money coming in from somewhere else. And that's a key point to make sure that when you're running a business, you have multiple sources of income, because if you're ever stuck on just one thing and that one thing falls apart or goes out of favor with the customers, you're screwed.
Anytime you think about a business plan and it's in a building, if you don't use the whole building, you're not getting your money's worth. To the overall business, the contribution of liquor is big. So tranche 3, I'm going to open up a to-go bar.
Elaine comes up with the idea of a third tranche or third stream of income being a bar in the Shepherd's Inn. The other two streams she's already thought of are the grocery store and the deli. And of course, that doesn't include the hotel part up there. I don't know why that's not actually a fourth tranche in her mind, but maybe she just hasn't gotten there yet, or maybe she's worked out some other kind of deal with Russell that we don't know about. The young lady that you saw at the beginning of that clip is named Amanda. She helped Elaine with her eyelashes and getting those done. She had a business doing that. It was shut down, so she started operating out of her car. And because of that innovation, it got Elaine's attention and the good work that she did. And so now she's speaking with Amanda about running that third tranche of the bar in the Shepherd's Inn. So you never know what your work may end up leading to. You never know who you may be impacting. This lady could have just blown off this meeting, could have done a crap job, but if she would have done that, little would she have known that she would have been doing that to an undercover billionaire. So it pays to make sure that you are taking care of everybody and doing your best in every situation, because you never know who you're serving.
And there is a liquor license. Right now we can do to-go liquor, it's allowed. So that spawned that whole idea of doing this built-in kind of bar area where we mix drinks with liquor. We can build a to-go bar, and I want you to run it. We'll come up with the money to do it because we've got a lot of people that want to invest. We're working on all of these different platforms right now. That being said, with your sobriety, working in a bar, I just want to make sure that you're okay. If you feel that that's like not a good situation and I put you in that situation, that does not work for me.
A couple of things here. First, you see the innovative plan that Elaine has come up with to add a to-go bar to the Shepherd's Inn so people can come in, get their booze, and then get out. But the second thing is she is concerned about the sobriety of Amanda, who had some alcohol-related problems that she shared while she was doing Elaine's eyelashes. At the end of the day, you're not just there to serve your customers, you're there to serve your workers. You don't just try to make a buck at the expense of the life of your employees. If you're putting someone in a position where you know that they cannot thrive or you know that it could cause harm, you are doing your business a disservice, you're doing your customers a disservice, you're doing your employees a disservice, and ultimately you're doing yourself a disservice. Because if Elaine ruins this lady's life, it would haunt her for the rest of her life. So you got to think these things through. You are in the service business. You're not just serving customers, you're also serving your workers. And we forget that sometimes. We try to use people to get us what we need when we really should be serving others, including our employees, and making sure that they are put in positions where they can excel and not in places where they will deteriorate.
If you are going to do this, I can't pay you right now, but and my belief is that anybody can do anything if they have good sweat equity. When I'm successful, Amanda, you're gonna be successful. We only trade in dollars. That's all we think about. But there are many different types of currency. Sweat equity, you get the people that really are hungry and they really wanna work. You're not asking them to work for free. You're just asking them to get paid later. It's all about trust. It's all about trust and faith.
Here we see the first official business principle given by Elaine as part of the show. Sweat equity is currency. So in other words, she doesn't have the money to pay Amanda for her services. But essentially, she's saying that I will pay you later. I will give you a cut of the business maybe, or some percentage, maybe a bonus. Something that as the business grows and as Elaine's financial situation improves in the business, she will then later compensate Amanda. Now, if this isn't a partnership of some sort, if this is an employment situation, then I don't know how that works with the Department of Labor and things of that nature. I mean, that's walking a tight line. If it's not a partnership, if it's an employee relationship, you have to follow the rules with the Department of Labor and with your state's laws in regards to making sure that they are getting paid a regular wage, an hourly wage, or a salary that meets the minimum requirements of the Department of Labor. So I would be very interested in hearing about the details, and I'm supposed to have an interview with Elaine Culotti at some point. Hopefully we can get that worked out, and these are the type of questions that I want to ask her is, how did they skirt around the employment issues of people working now but being paid later? Were they partners? Did they get equity? Do they get a salary later? How are they working that in the confines of the law?
If you put this on a schedule of values, we would not be halfway done.
Are you saying that you're not going to give me the draw today? Is that what you're saying?
No, definitely going to pay you. I'm just not going to pay you all of it.
That's the problem. I'm not going to keep going if I don't get the whole draw. That's the contract. You expect me to hold up my end. I expect you to hold up your end.
All right, look, what I'm telling you is the entire downstairs was supposed to be painted white by tonight. You are not meeting your deadline.
I don't agree with you, but we can agree to disagree.
Maybe someone can explain this to me in simple terms, but in what way has he completed the entire downstairs? We can agree to disagree. What are you going to agree to disagree about? You either painted the whole downstairs or you didn't. Perhaps there's a painter out there that's watching this. Maybe you can explain to me, maybe put in the comments down at the bottom, how it could possibly be that this guy did his job. How it is that he fulfilled his obligation. Elaine is saying that if they were on a system where each task was being done and you were paying as you go, he wouldn't have even been paid half of his draw. But now he's wanting essentially full payment, and he can't even guarantee that he's going to get the bottom done. So I understand Elaine's frustration. I deal with contractors with my rental properties. I deal with contractors with my own house. And it's always like you try to get an estimate from them, and it's, oh, we'll be able to get this. And then there's, oh, one thing came up. Oh, one thing came up. Oh, there was a problem. There's always a problem. There's always something that extends it. There's always more work to be done. There's always more money that has to be shelled out. But in this case, this is clear. I don't understand why he's even debating this. He should just acknowledge that he sucks and just move on from there. But let's see where this goes.
Matt, of course, didn't deliver. I broke my cardinal rule in construction, which is always make sure that you check everybody's references. And in the end, I still had to pay him $1,500 for the work that he finished.
Like I said at the very beginning, sometimes even when you're on a time crunch, it's better to make sure that you wait and do the investigation before you sign the dotted line. This cost her an additional $1,500, and she's still having to delay getting the painting done. And she acknowledges she should have checked her references. And so let that be a lesson to all of us. Even when we're in a time crunch, make sure that you do the investigative work, because you may end up getting delayed anyway.
Tonight's been a full-on success. Everybody was talking about the ideas. There was great energy in the room. The food was good. But now it's time to get down to business. Clear the room, sit down one-on-one, and make the ask. So I really want to see where you stand on being a partner and an investor. The total ask is $250,000. This is going to build an incredible opportunity. Anna, can you commit to a $250,000 investment?
I'm okay with that.
So good.
But with that being said, show me, where's our break-even mark? How many sandwiches do we have to sell to break even?
Whoa, big money, Elaine. She lands a $250,000 investment from Ann, or a commitment to do that. All because she gathered the team around, had a nice meal, introduced Ann to the team. She brought someone that was a liaison with the city to show that there was a downtown connection. And she gave a pitch to Ann about the different tranches that she had. She explained everything. She explained that she could pivot, that if something wasn't working, that they could make an adjustment. And it was really just about, making that connection with Ann. And now she's secured a commitment for $250,000. So way to go, Elaine. And we'll see how that develops. But the principle is get your team together, show your investors, potential investors, not just the business that you're trying to sell, but sell yourself and sell your team so that they know what they're getting into. Again, I'm attorney Drew Page. You can reach me at 757-935-9065 at my Suffolk, Virginia office. You can visit my website, www.randallpagelaw.com, and you can email me, drewpage@randallpagelaw.com. Please subscribe to this channel and like this video to help with the algorithm. If you want to catch up with all of the Undercover Billionaire content, please click on the Undercover Billionaire playlist in the description below. And you can get a copy of my book, The Right Defense for a Traffic Offense in Virginia, by clicking on the Amazon link below. Until next time, stay tuned.